So I saw this floating around. Breaking news: video game players are urged to play at reasonable times to avoid putting strain on the internet networks during the certain outbreak. Online gaming is the biggest threat to bandwidth these. And I saw that. Like, there ain't no way somebody's trying. We're in the middle of a pandemic, right? You know, a lot of us are quarantined, aren't. Um, you know, game journalists out there are still gonna find something to blame us for. They're going to invoke the boogeyman like GG or something, and they're gonna be like, it's gamers' fault. It's all because of the gamers. So if something does happen and the interwebs comes crashing down around them, they can blame the gamers and all this other stuff because they're already doing it right now, or at least one person is, and they, in my opinion, are a hack. According from what I've been able to pick up, this, you know, what is it? They've been tech or talking about tech and video games since the 80s, right? And maybe they know what they're doing, but this is disingenuous at best, complete lie, or you know, I don't know the words that are coming out of my mouth. They're either being disingenuous, they are lying straight up about, you know, facts, because that's not how these things work. Or three, I'm sorry, they are just completely ignorant on how networks work in general. Internet works, all the traffic and everything. Say Netflix, who they're just purely ignorant to how it actually really works. I'm just gonna go on a limb though and say, since they've been talking about tech for how many years now, at least the 80s, that they're just straight out lying to everybody. That they're so irrelevant that clicks. We're gonna go into this because I had to then, of course, trace all this stuff down, and yeah, we're using ad block, and the Daily Mail will not let me see their thing. So luckily for me, I happen to understand how the internet works a little bit, and we can still. So we've brought this up. Video game players are urged to play at reasonable times to avoid putting an extra strain on internet networks. Virus, if anything, if I was going to tell anything out there, right, I wouldn't sit there and tell the gamers, who, you know, make up a good chunk of people but aren't, you know, the majority. Hey, you guys should slow down in your games. I would probably tell everybody, hey, look, Netflix, Hulu, you think you can keep it down between business hours? If you want to go with this whole eating all the bandwidth thing, those are probably the things I would probably get around to saying. To say, look, I know you love to stream your Hulus, I know you love to stream your Netflix, but can we tone it down just a little bit? A lot of bandwidth. We need to keep the information highway open instead of clogging it up. If you haven't gotten your coffee, you should go ahead and do so now. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're new to it, hey, subscribe to the channel, throw a like, and you know, out to everybody. And also, I've decided to do an audio version of all my stuff. So if you happen to be, come find me. I'm video gaming and anyway. Okay, that's BitChute and YouTube. You can find me there, and Twitter. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and break into this article. Video game players have been urged to play, avoid putting extra strain on internet networks. Outbreak. But gamers have been asked to limit time. Yeah, wait, did somebody literally just take those excerpts out of this? And that, because this tweet here is what made me go look for this, right? I think somebody just took those excerpts straight out. Anyway, But gamers have been asked to limit time online during work hours to ensure those in self-isolation trying to get work done aren't affected by slow speeds. Oh, you boo-hoo-hoo. Do me a favor, if you're being affected by speeds, check your internet connection first. Go ahead and turn the computer off and turn it back on. Sometimes that works. If you're using wireless, maybe disable it, re-enable it, then reset the router, plug it from the wall, 5 minutes, plug it back. Maybe you'll get more speed out of it. Contact your ISP, see if you're paying for something worthwhile or if you've got the lowest of the lowest. All that good stuff. When it comes to your internet speeds, there's a lot of different factors involved into how fast your connection is going to go. Not the fact that people play video games. Just saying. Now, I mean, if they're playing video games on your network or watching Netflix or something like that, maybe that might have something to do. But me playing video games doesn't mean that person A, who's connected to the net down the road or something is being affected by my traffic. It just depends. But anyway, we're not into. Doesn't know what they're talking about apparently. The issue could get worse in the UK as schools around the country have been forced to close due to rapid spread of a certain outbreak, giving young gamers more time to kill. Yeah, I kind of wish I had the vacation right now. I mean, I've got the vacation I could take, but I don't want to use up my actual vacation. Kind of wish I could get the vacation so I could sit at home all day. At the same time, I hate adult. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, crack the neck. Let's do this. UK-based video game expert Rick Henderson, which, by the way, I've never heard before in my life. The fact that this guy is apparently a UK-based video game expert. This is the guy I've been referring to, by the way, the whole time, trying to look up who this person is because I found something on IDB, whatever, like 3 movies or 4 movies that he did back in the around the 90s, if it's the same one, of course. I've got this guy from Lent, Pocket Lent, I think is the guy they're talking about. References. I couldn't find anything on this particular in his tweet, so I don't know if it got deleted. But he did make a reference to the Quartering, who said something like, if the Quartering wants to, I'm right here. But because he's, he's a word that I'm not going to use. With everything, not, how that works. Right. Anyway, let's just say, but apparently UK-based video games expert Rick Henderson said people turning games during isolation was inevitable. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, while video streaming services such as Netflix and YouTube are committed to reducing their digital footprint during the outbreak crisis. I almost said it. Almost. You heard the first couple of letters. Anyway, gaming is perhaps the biggest threat to internet in the next few months. PC gaming platform Steam revealed record numbers of gamers online in recent days, recording 20 players online at once for the time last weekend. I don't know what that was coming up. But yeah, Steam database has just reached a new current online user record, 20 million, with 6.2 million current in-game, likely due to many people staying at home due to the outbreak. Anyway, so goes on and talks about how people are going to Fortnite, Call of Duty, Warzone, all this other stuff, yada 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 yada. And Italian telecom companies told analysts that it has seen a 70% increase in internet traffic, and ISPs saying, "Hey, we can." Right, that's the whole rest of this article, right? So let's get into this real quick. Talk about this for a second. How much bandwidth does playing Call of Duty Warzone actually? I'll give you a hint. Almost nothing. Anyway, no, but seriously, just from an anecdotal experience, from some data that has gathered, even though it is, I think the data that I found was from 2018, and I saw people running around below that going, well, that's out of date, so that technically doesn't mean anything. No, it's the same. I assure you that World of Warcraft, that may be burning up like 30 or 40 megs an hour, didn't suddenly jump to 3,000 megs an hour over 2 years. I assure you it has not changed. But the only thing that has changed is the amount of time people are playing games, or that's about the only thing that's changed. So the data is still relevant even today. But we're going to talk about different factors that actually can speeds. This is going to be a ranty video. So sorry. Anyway, so let's just jump into it real quick, right? Let's get into this. Is a thing of hourly bandwidth usage, the amount of bandwidth, megabytes an hour, by various forms for online entertainment, right? Let me bring up my calculator because I am horrible at math. Yesterday I learned what a house was. Didn't know what that was. Did not know that's supposed to be called now. So, but anyway, so we're gonna look. We've got PUBG, using about 40. Fortnite's using 70. Dota 2 uses 120. CS:GO uses 250. Destiny takes 300, and those are probably your big heavy hitters, right? 300 and 250. Right now, quick math. How much gigs are in a meg? 1,024 megabytes equals, right? And then so on and so forth for terabyte, and bring it down for kilobytes and stuff like that, right? About 1,024. But particular unit will equal. So if you look down and you see a 3,000 mark here, 1,000 mark, what does that normally look? When people look at that, they generally round, right? So if I looked at that and said, oh, well, that means Netflix uses about a gig per hour. Right. It doesn't quite use a gig. It's about 24 megs off from it's using like 998 or 95 meg 98 or oh, I can't math. Anyway, it's using almost a meg. I mean, it's using 1,000 megs. Wow. I don't know where I'm going. Using 1,000 megs, it's about 24 megs away from 1 gig. All right. That's quite a bit for an hour's worth of service, and that is Netflix. Just personal story time. I drove OTR for years, right? That's over the road. That means I big rig that around the country. I survived off my phone here, right? Thing here got me through everything. I listened to music using whatever it was. I used YouTube. I used Netflix. I used Hulu, and I gamed via my phone. Because that's all I had all month for about 28 days straight before I got to come home for 2 months. Played on that computer way over there, if I got a chance to play it at all, because I'm running around doing other things. Here's what my bill looked like, right? I used over 150 some gigs. Where did that data come from? Largely Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu. Less than 10 of those gigs were video games. While I was out and about and home for something, tracking all my data. So I would use up to 150, 160 gigs at any given month, but only, less than 10 of that would be games. Everything else would be video and audio or video services, for the most part. That's how much data that things like Netflix take, right? So, if we take Destiny 2, let's say we got 300 and we times that by a 24-hour period, right? So, we take Destiny and we played it 24/7. So we're using around 7 gigs. And if my math is right, I say we take 30 days into a month. That is around 216,000 bytes data right there. Uh, now let's take Netflix, not ABC View, because I don't even know what that is, and I'm really using that, or SBS either. We're going to take the well-known thing, Netflix, the Hulus, which up here. I'm not sure what stand SD is either. Anyway, we're gonna go with Netflix. How's that? We'll go ahead and say we're watching Netflix. That is roughly 24,000 right there. Month we're looking at 720,000 megabytes. That is a ton of megabytes. But yeah, the whole point is gaming's not going to be down the internet. Anyway, this has gone really, really long, so let's look at this guy here real quick. This is the Rick Hendrick, right? Senior ed of news at something called Pocket Lint, occasional game reviewer and former Kelly Bloke Game Masters Game Worlds. Oh, okay, so the IMDb page was actually that's kind of cool. Apparently I missed that. But yeah, you can come down here. Oh wait, he did at the quarter. My bad. If at the quarter wants to ask me directly about what happened with my opinion on gaming during the Corona thing, I'm right here. Sure. Thanks for the DM. And yeah, that's exactly where it went to. Apparently, there was nothing there. That's how I figured this was the same guy, because I don't really see anything else out here that was during he did the interview and everything. But just to put sort of some nails in the coffin that this guy has no idea what he's talking about or is just straight up lying. Netflix cut streaming bit rates in Europe for 30 days, but resolution is unaffected, which is kind of an odd thing. I don't know if you've noticed, but when you start streaming something, you know, sometimes things get a little fuzzy or gritty looking. That's because your bitrate has slowed down suddenly, but rest assured your resolution's not affected. It's affected. That's a lie. Anyway, you know, I forgot to actually get into how networks actually work, and we're going to now. It's been gone so long, so I don't say, but apparently you can see here the important phone conversation with Red Hastings, CEO of Netflix, to beat the thing. We hashtag stay at home. Telework is streaming helps a lot, but infrastructure might strain. Sure access for all. Let's switch to standard definition, and things like that. So yeah, they're urging people to switch to standard definition because things like 4K uses quadruple the amount. I mean, let's see, look at this. 4K, 7,000 hour when it comes to megabit rates. Meanwhile, if you're playing, say, World of Warcraft, you're using a total of 40. Ooh, you're bringing down the internet with that one. Guaranteed it's going to be all those WoW players. Every last one of them are going to bring down the internet. Anyway, yeah, this guy here has no idea what he's talking about, or he is just straight up lying. That's all I got to say. He apparently runs with something called Pocket Lint, and yeah, that's what I got. That's what I got. Anyway, let me know what you think down in all this. Yeah, this is this not me to talk for that long. There's a lot to say. If you want me to continue on this topic, explain the networks and how, you know, computers and things connect with this, that, and the other, let me know. I'll do that too. Make it a separate thing. Anyway, I am Zeo. This is Zeo Gaming, and I will talk to you next one. See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.